Hey, it's the footy coach here. I'm going to talk about Ruben Amorim today and his tactics at Manchester United, which are causing an issue for the team. As you can see in his first 14 games, he's not really had the best of starts as a manager. He's averaging 1 point per game, and that is literally relegation form. Some of these wins have been very lucky as well, due to Ahmad scoring a couple of goals right at the death against Man City, for example, as well as the game against Southampton. So it feels like all of the poor performances we've seen are really indicative of where this team should be, because they've been playing like a team that should be in the 15th place in the league. Now, Amorim is basically performing, let's say, worse than Ten Hag. And there's been a lot of departures from the squad this season at United, and he's had quite an extensive injury list as well, which hasn't helped his cause. But when you read some of the quotes and the things he's said since he's arrived, it's been pretty crazy. He's a man who says he's going to stick to his beliefs, stick to his system. He played this 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, however you want to phrase it, at Sporting. And here you can see the progression of the ball and how they like to play. This was actually a Sporting team that also liked to press up high, very athletic, and he's trying and wants to replicate that at Manchester United, but he himself believes he can't with the players he has. So why is he sticking with this system at Manchester United? So usually United, they try to set up like this in the same way as Sporting do, and I guess nominally we had Ahmad, who's out injured now, and another wide player like Garnacho playing out wide on the left. Against Spurs, this couldn't happen. So Xerxes came in and he was playing more like a number 10. And Garnacho was still playing his role as the second number 10 on the left-hand side going over there. But Bruno and Casemiro were in midfield. Bruno kept going out to the right-hand side because there was space, leaving Casemiro all alone here in the middle. Now, this meant that Tottenham found it so easy to progress the ball through the center of the pitch. And also, the fullbacks, Dorgu and Dalot, they were really in a flat back five. It was actually looking something more like this, with Bruno floating around and Casemiro just being here in the center, and that probably contributed to why he made so many fouls in the first half and trying to break up Tottenham's play, and he was doing it alone, and at his age, with his lack of legs, it was proving to be a problem. Now if we add Tottenham's formation to the pitch, and I've progressed the Man United players further up the pitch to just see what kind of game this was and how open it was. I think Amorim really needs to be more pragmatic with his team. It was really weird. If here's still just showing how weird this back five was. And you can see the wide players of Tottenham, they were intentionally staying out there to push the wing backs to stay back and not be able to get up the pitch. This is why I believe Bruno kept going out here to Jed Spence, because Jed Spence was flying up the pitch. And same on the other side with Porro. The Garnacho didn't really do that much of a good job. These overloads just left Casemiro all alone in the middle, and Bergval, Bentancur would just move the ball forward with ease. Xerxes and Hoyland would try to press the two centre-backs. They'd normally just play it back to the goalkeeper, and he'd always seem to find Porro or Jed Spence, and then that ball would go straight into the middle to Bergval, who played really well, and James Maddison would be up here into these spaces. The gaps here are just unacceptable as for a football team at this highest level. You don't know whether it's a consequence of the manager telling them this is what he wants them to do, or it's the players taking it upon themselves after seeing the gaps elsewhere. So was Bruno supposed to float out there to Jed Spence, or was he supposed to stay more structured with Casemiro? That's only something Amorim can tell us. This tactic of Spurs of keeping their wide players there, what's the point in three at the back if two of these guys are just going to be totally free? Okay, Harry Maguire may be playing in the middle. He's got a hold of the centre forward. You could see in the second half, Mazraoui was seeing the danger and he was pushing out with Maddison, even if Maddison went all the way here. But then Harry Maguire would call him back, come back. So Maddison would just receive the ball anyway, turn, and he's into lots of space. This is a real big tactical flaw in this side. Now, Tottenham's weaknesses are actually that they do love to get forward, and their midfield on the defensive side lets teams transition through them easily as well. So they have the same issue as Manchester United, except Manchester United have 5 players at the back, and if you get through Tottenham's midfield, normally there's only 2 or a fullback at the back. In this game, we did see United do that quite a few times and create some opportunities. Garnacho probably should have scored a couple, but on the defensive side of things, it's feeling like a useless setup, really. A more pragmatic coach would just say, look guys, Dalot, Dorgu, push up on Spence and Porro. Let's let the 2 centre-backs here go out to the wide forwards. Casemiro would be the one keeping an eye on Maddison. And then Bruno would be here, and you'd say to Xerxes, drop in and let the quicker players like Garnacho and Højlund push up. There you go, you're man-to-man across the pitch. This gives you a chance. Now, I'm not sure what's going on at Manchester United, whether Amorim is just waiting to sell off most of this squad because he believes they don't suit his system. But the results right now show that he needs to have more pragmatism and try to win games, because as we all know, Mr. Jim will fix it, and Manchester United doesn't really seem to have the patience to back a manager. And if he, pulls the rug out from under Amorim's feet, then he'll have lost the opportunity to manage at such a big club. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.